It's been almost 2 years since Ian Wilkinson sat down to a lunch which killed his wife and almost killed him. Erin Patterson is facing 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder relating to a lunch she hosted at her property in Leongatha in July 2023. She has pleaded not guilty to the charges. At the lunch were Erin Patterson's former in-laws, Don and Gail Patterson, the parents of her estranged husband, Simon, as well as Gail's sister, Heather, and her husband, Reverend Ian Wilkinson. Each were served mash, green beans and a single beef Wellington, which the court has heard was laced with poisonous death cap mushrooms. Don, Gail and Heather all died. Ian is the only guest to have survived. Today, Don and Gail Patterson's daughter, Anna Terrington, gave evidence. She told the court after the lunch she spoke to her mother, who told her they had beef Wellington, but it was too much for Mum, so Dad finished it. Also giving evidence, Ruth Dubois, Ian and Heather Wilkinson's daughter, who told the court about a conversation she had with her mother about Erin's invitation to lunch. Ruth Dubois was surprised by the invitation and told the court her mother told her that had never happened before. Each day there are only 6 seats made available to media inside the courtroom. They are allocated by ballot and 7:30 was present while Ian Wilkinson gave evidence. Ian Wilkinson, the pastor at the Corumburra Baptist Church in evidence, said the first he became aware he was invited to the lunch was after a sermon he gave at church 2 weeks prior by his wife Heather. Crown Prosecutor Jane Warren asked Ian,
"Did Heather say whether or not there was any particular reason for the lunch?"
No reason given for the lunch. I remember talking to Heather, wondering why suddenly the invitation.
Ian told the court the lunch would be at Erin Patterson's home in Leongatha. When they arrived, they discussed her newly built house before getting ready to sit down for the meal. He said that Heather and Gail offered to help serve the food, but the offer was rejected by Erin, who plated. Ian observed there were 4 large grey plates and 1 smaller orangey tan coloured one, which Erin took to her spot at the table. Ian said the beef Wellington was
very much like a pasty, if you imagine a pasty being put on a plate. It was a pastry case, and when we cut into it, there was steak and mushrooms.
Ian Wilkinson was cross-examined by the defence about his memory of the lunch.
You paid no particular attention at the time as to the colour of the plates, did you?
I noticed that when the food was plated up, that there were different plates.
And let me suggest as well that there weren't any grey or stone-coloured plates in Erin's kitchen on that day.
I remember a grey plate, grey plates, 4 grey plates.
And likewise, let me suggest this. There was no smaller plate. All the plates were the same size.
No, the plate was smaller, the different coloured plate.
Inside, Erin Patterson is sitting at the very rear of the court. As Ian Wilkinson entered the room, he glanced at her briefly before taking to the stand. His focus has largely been on the lawyers who are asking him questions, while she, sitting just metres away from the witness box, is sitting silently without an expression and listening intently to his testimony. After the lunch, the guests went back to Corumburra, where that night all 4 became ill. The next day, Ian and Heather were hospitalised at Leongatha Hospital with suspected food poisoning. That changed when doctors were alerted to the possibility of mushroom poisoning. Ian told the court the doctor told them they urgently needed to be transferred.
He said it's an extremely serious situation. He said there is time-critical treatment available and he was very concerned that we be transported quickly to Dandenong.
Today, Dr. Chris Webster, a senior doctor at Leongatha Hospital at the time the Wilkinsons were admitted, gave evidence that he received a call from Dandenong Hospital from a doctor who was treating Don and Gail Patterson for suspected death cap mushroom poisoning. Whilst in the urgent care centre of the hospital, Dr. Webster told the court he met Erin Patterson, who presented with gastro symptoms. Dr. Webster said he told Erin Patterson there was a concern she had been exposed to death cap mushroom poisoning. After attending other patients, Dr. Webster told the court he then asked a nurse where Erin had gone and says he was told she had discharged herself against medical advice. He then rang her phone 3 times. Dr. Webster also rang 000 and spoke to police about getting her back. Erin Patterson later returned to the hospital on her own. In further evidence, Dr. Webster told the court he inquired with Erin about her children eating any leftovers and stressed the importance of getting them to a medical facility for assessment. He said to the court Erin was reluctant, telling him she was concerned they would be frightened. He said he responded to her by saying they can be scared and alive or dead. At Dandenong Hospital, Ian and his wife Heather were separated in different pods. Ian told the court his last memory is of drinking a charcoal substance. Within days, his wife Heather died. So too did Gail and Don Patterson. Ian Wilkinson was released from hospital almost 2 months later after spending time in intensive care and rehabilitation. The case is scheduled to run for another 3 to 4 weeks.